Rent was due, yet my black landlord had different intentions. A genuine tale of betrayal. The memory remains etched in my mind, my back against the cool kitchen wall, legs quaking as his strong, dark hands wrapped around my waist. James exuded confidence, his intentions unmistakable as he spoke with authority. His voice resonated powerfully, compelling me to turn around, and I acquiesced, silent and compliant. I pressed my palms resolutely against the wall. He lifted my skirt, and in that instant, I gasped, not from fear, but from the intense heat and the formidable presence I felt between my thighs. The experience was nothing short of intense. I conveyed my unpreparedness to him, and with a snarl, he declared, "You will accept every bit of it." Indeed, I explored every single inch, biting my lips with such fervor that I could savor the metallic tang of blood. My heart raced wildly, striving to escape the weight of guilt. Yet all I truly felt was an intense heat, a profound longing, and James, a sincere thank you to all my devoted subscribers. Your support means the world to me. Your influence is the catalyst for the ongoing triumph of this channel. To all the new and returning viewers who have yet to subscribe, I eagerly await your click on that button. We invite you to share your thoughts and reflections in the comments section below. I am Rachel Davis, and I could have never foreseen the unexpected path my life would embark upon. At 37, I have recently navigated the complexities of divorce and am now in pursuit of a new beginning, embracing a sense of tranquility and subtlety. I moved to a charming apartment complex on the fringes of Atlanta. Space was limited, just enough for my presence and the weight of my regrets. Life was destined to grow simpler. In the wake of the divorce, the atmosphere became increasingly isolating, colder, and burdened by financial strain. James was my landlord, a striking figure with an air of effortless charm, his tall and dark presence exuding a confidence that suggested he could coax the very stars from the heavens. He glided through the streets in a polished black Challenger, draped in radiant gold chains that shimmered against his skin, and wore a smile that suggested he held the key to every secret a woman ever wished to conceal. At first, he barely crossed my mind, but that changed when the moment to settle the rent arrived. On the 5th day of the month, I found myself back at home after a long shift at the diner. I found myself completely exhausted, soaked in perspiration, and my finances were undeniably in the negative, to be precise. $2, $3.57. James was destined to make his entrance. He possessed an uncanny ability to show up just when someone was running late. A knock resonated through the air, and I grasped the handle with a measured slowness, my stomach twisting in a tumultuous sea of apprehension. There he stood, dressed in a white t-shirt, a gold chain, and fitted jeans, his expression unmistakably revealing that he was keenly aware of my financial struggles. "I was just on the verge of calling you," I declared. "Indeed?" he replied, stepping in without a moment's pause. "What were you about to express?" "I simply need a little time. I shall make my way there." "Do you think that time will continue to uphold the light?" His voice held a steady precision, reminiscent of a blade cloaked in gentleness. I struggled to swallow. "I can guarantee that it will be prepared by the end of next week." He gently shut the door, then moved toward me with a measured, unhurried pace. I paused for a moment, retreating slightly. "Kimberly," he said softly, "I possess the ability to cast you away this very day, yet I opt not to. Are you aware of the rationale behind it?" I found myself shaking my head, overwhelmed by disbelief. "You hold within you a treasure far beyond the value of simple rent," and my heart tightened at the thought. "What message are you attempting to convey?" His eyes wandered to my hips before finding their way back to mine. "We are two individuals of considerable maturity. One should refrain from acting unwisely." I should have shown him the door, that I really should have. I delivered a blow to him. Yet I paused, for deep down, there lay something more. I discovered that I was not genuinely amazed. I noticed the intensity of his gaze, filled with yearning and passion, and the most unsettling part. I cast a fleeting look behind me. "I cannot," I whispered softly. He edged nearer. "Certainly, you are able to." His hand brushed against my cheek, and I flinched ever so slightly. Still, I lingered in my place. As his lips met mine, it was as though a part of me broke apart, releasing a cascade of emotions. Our lips met with an intensity that spoke of a deep hunger within us. His hands wandered with abandon, while my blouse rested carelessly on the floor. In an instant, I was left breathless, disoriented, and overwhelmed by a torrent of emotions. Wait a moment, James. I find myself lacking in readiness. I expressed my dissent. You shall be, His hands gripped my hips with a certainty that compelled my surrender. I regret to inform you that I cannot assist with that matter. He secured his jeans, cast a glance in my direction, and said, "This month's rent is taken care of." He subsequently departed. I sat there, partially undressed, my heart racing and my legs trembling, lost in thought. What in the world have I just accomplished? Yet, beneath the surface, I knew that I would inevitably find myself repeating the act. Rest eluded me that night. I found myself entwined in the sheets, their fabric still imbued with James's lingering fragrance. My thighs pulsed with a dull ache, my lips tingled with a swollen sensation, and my mind was a tempest of swirling thoughts. In that kitchen, I discovered myself reliving every moment. His movements, the timbre of his voice, and the way my body reacted, as though it had been waiting for this moment all along. A sense of shame should have lingered within me from the very beginning. I might have shed tears, but I restrained myself. Instead, I found myself beneath the sheets, exploring my own body, softly murmuring his name as I approached my peak. I end this moment, completely solitary. As dawn broke, I endeavored to keep my poise intact. I emerged from the shower, my hair brushed back, clad in my diner uniform, and stepped out as though the world had remained unchanged. Yet, a transformation had taken place. I shifted my movements, settled into my seat with an altered stance, and my mind drifted into new realms, all while James watched intently. As I arrived home from work that evening, I discovered him waiting for me in the parking lot, nonchalantly leaning against his car, his eyes locked onto mine, sending a shiver through my legs. Once again, feeling weak, he called for me to ascend the stairs. I took a moment to reflect on the events that had unfolded. He flung the door to his apartment wide and entered, a shroud of silence wrapping around him. I followed in his wake as he stepped inside. The air was heavy with the scent of cologne mingling with a luxurious variety of cannabis. A bottle of Hennessy lay open on the table, its amber liquid catching the light, while a blunt quietly burned in the ashtray, releasing wisps of smoke into the air. The atmosphere was softly illuminated, with soothing R&B tunes wafting from a speaker hidden in the shadows of the room. He poured a glass and extended it toward me. "What could this possibly be?" I asked, striving to keep my composure intact. "It's the New Deal," he said, his tone casual and unfazed. "You come forth at my summons, delivering what I seek, and I make certain you grasp your purpose." My stomach coiled tightly, a tumult of unease brewing within. "That sounds like a bargain," he interjected. "A resolution that serves the interests of us both. Are you truly content with the idea of remaining in the realm of waiting tables, merely scraping by? Continue onward. Alternatively, you could permit a sincere individual to care for you." My eyes lingered upon him. With a drink in hand, he bore an expression of complete seriousness. I loathed that. A fragment of my being urged me to agree, yet I needed to grasp the reason it was I who was chosen. He could choose from any woman present. He let out a soft chuckle and said, "Because you seem to embody everything I should steer clear of. Golden, fragile, immaculate. However, the narrative conveyed by your words suggests an alternate tale. I regret to inform you that I cannot assist with that matter." Once we concluded, I found myself sprawled on the floor, sweat trickling down my forehead, my legs quaking beneath me. He sparked another blunt and passed it my way. The sting pierced through me. The experience was fervent, and I welcomed the exhilaration it brought. "Such is the reality," he observed. "There are no questions to ask, nor commitments to fulfill. Respond promptly when I call upon you, and in return, you shall receive safety, protection, and recompense." I offered a subtle nod. having already crossed a line. What purpose did it serve to feign any remaining morals? In the days that lay ahead, we found our cadence. Each time a knock echoed through the door, I found myself answering in the barest of states. He would stride in, claim what he sought, and I merely drifted along with the current. There I was, sprawled on the floor, comfortably nestled on the couch, my gaze drifting out the window. In the midst of the shower's steam, I found myself recalling a moment when I stood on the stairs, the front door ajar, inviting the world in. I should have experienced a twinge of embarrassment, yet, in reality, I felt a surge of energy. In an instant, the world shifted dramatically. As I busied myself with the task of cleaning the tables, Brooke, a colleague of mine, leaned in and posed a question. "Are you involved with anyone?" I remained motionless. "You seem to be radiating," she playfully remarked, noticing my slightly altered demeanor. I tried to dismiss it as inconsequential, but she persisted in her unwavering gaze, scrutinizing me intently. I recognized that my efforts at hiding were anything but successful. On that night, James made his entrance, and an unmistakable shift in his energy enveloped the atmosphere. He conveyed, "I require you to stop communicating with other men. You belong to me now." I blinked, certain that no threads intertwined. Once again, he pushed me against the wall, right in the spot where our paths first crossed. This moment, however, revealed itself with a soft rhythm, a delicate caress, and an enriched bond. He looked deeply into my eyes as we intertwined, his lips brushing against my forehead, his fingers tenderly tracing my face. This stirred something within me, unsettling yet exhilarating, for I found myself yearning for him in ways that transcended mere physical attraction. My desire for him was insatiable, yet, just a week later, I came home from work to find a note affixed to my door. "You are not alone in this experience." Only those words possess a signature of their OW, and my heart raced as I rushed toward James's apartment. With whom else is he entangled? I urged him to meet my eyes, amused. "Do you truly think you are the only one I hold dear?" The fabric of my existence transformed the instant your words danced through the air. I conveyed that you belonged to me, though I never asserted that I belonged to you. As the night enveloped me, tears welled in my eyes, gently guiding me into the realm of dreams. However, when he knocked the next evening, I found myself compelled to open the door. I should have ensured its safety, ought to have sealed it away. The curtains drew closed, casting a shadow that wrapped around me, shrouding my shame in darkness. Yet I did not. I flung the door wide once again. As James entered the room, I found myself succumbing to his presence once more. My heart raced with an intensity one could hardly contain. I harbored a deep disdain for his words, a profound loathing for the haughty expression that adorned his face, for the turmoil he stirred within me. I sensed that I was nothing more than a choice among many. Yet what haunted me the most was that my longing for him remained. He kissed me with an air of nonchalance, as if the note on my door was nothing more than a fleeting illusion, as if the emptiness in my chest bore no weight, and I surrendered to the moment. On this occasion, we discovered ourselves upon the balcony. The crisp night air caressed my skin, while his hands emanated a comforting warmth with every gentle contact. He pulled me near the railing, whispering phrases that sent tingles through my body and caused my eyelids to dance with joy. I called into the void, unaware of any listening souls in the shadows, too broken to discover a path to silence. In the aftermath, I found myself still, enveloped comfortably in a soft throat. I wrapped my cigarette in a soft embrace, my fingers quivering with uncertainty. "Am I just another notch on your bedpost?" I asked, my voice scarcely lifting above a murmur. James shrugged with an air of indifference. "Are you in pursuit of the truth? You were meant to be a transient moment, just a delightful distraction with a captivating grin, yet you kept coming back." I shot back. "So did you." He replied, "You are simply impossible to resist." Yet I never promised you love, Kimberly, and that's precisely where everything began to unravel. I had yet to pursue love. In some inexplicable way, my heart caught fire nonetheless. The next day, I found myself retreating inward. I stopped replying to his messages, turned a blind eye to the door when he knocked, and even started to engage in playful banter with someone else. In the workplace, there exists a quiet and scholarly dishwasher by the name of Adam. He seldom meets my eyes, yet he looks at me as though I am someone remarkable. Adam indulged me with tacos, graciously held the door open, laughed at my silly jokes, and showered me with compliments about my beauty, utterly captivating me. Authentic, with no hidden agendas whatsoever. In a fleeting moment, I felt a whisper of my past self, the essence of who I could still evolve into. In that moment, James unearthed a revelation. As the sun dipped below the horizon, I found myself stepping into my apartment, only to be met with the unexpected sight of him waiting there. He held a key, of course. He invariably does. Do you honestly believe I would permit you to feign domestic bliss with a man who carries the unmistakable scent of stale dishwater? He let out a derisive laugh. Leave, I commanded, stepping back with purpose. Indeed you do. You don't have control over me, he remarked, a chilling grin playing on his lips. Your observation holds merit. Though I may not hold you in my grasp, I reign supreme in this realm, and you owe your allegiance to me. He edged nearer. If you desire my absence, ensure that all your obligations are met, every penny accounted for, with interest duly considered. I found myself staring at him, utterly astonished. However, you indicated that the rent had been settled. He released a laugh, a sharp and resonant sound, just before your actions took on the flair of a diva. An intense compulsion surged within me, a desperate need to unleash a scream, to shed tears, to hurl an object in frustration. Yet I lingered there, frozen in place, and at last I responded that I will be moving to a new place. He beamed with delight. Texting is beyond your capabilities. You find yourself tethered to your lease for another 6 months, and trust me, no legal entity will come to your rescue. Maria. I discovered that I was prepared to lend a hand to a beleaguered blonde waitress, placing her needs above my own, and on that fateful night, a chilling realization dawned upon me. James transcended the roles of lover and landlord. He was a trap, and I had eagerly walked into his embrace. As the days slipped by, I deftly avoided him at every turn. There were nights when Adam would stay over, and we would lose ourselves in movies and stolen kisses, reminiscent of our high school days. I continuously reassured myself of my progress until that pivotal evening, when James unexpectedly laid eyes on us together. The hour had grown late. As we made our way back from a long shift, our laughter echoed through the hallway, only to be interrupted by his sudden appearance from the shadows. He held his silence, his eyes locked onto mine, and in that instant, clarity washed over me. Adam brushed his lips softly against my cheek, then stepped into my apartment. I positioned myself outside, confronting James, ready for an impending clash. You possess no claim to jealousy, I declared. The right in question has been relinquished. I haven't lost a thing, he replied with a sharp edge to his voice. You continue to exist in the moment. You continue to be mine. He extended his hand, gently tucking my hair behind my ear, his fingers lingering for a heartbeat longer than needed. I could easily conjure an awkward predicament for your dear boyfriend, he whispered, or perhaps for you as well. Tex, I find myself pondering how your superior might respond if I were to bring up the fact that you permitted your landlord to exploit the situation for a reduction in rent. My blood froze in my veins. I would not. I observed he simply offered a sly smile. Feel free to take a chance. That evening, I brought my relationship with Adam to a close. He could not grasp the meaning. He beseeched me to stay. It seemed utterly futile to articulate the turmoil within me without dragging him into the very chaos I had conjured. For hours, tears streamed down my face after he left. Upon James's return, I feigned a sense of normalcy, masking the turmoil beneath the surface. I permitted him to caress me, to recline me gently, to murmur the secrets of my long-held yearnings. Still, I chose to hold my tongue. As I stared at the ceiling, a deep sense of emptiness wrapped around me like a heavy shroud. As he reached the end, a sense of awareness washed over him. What is unfolding? He asked. Where has that fervor you once possessed gone? As I looked deep into his eyes, I made my declaration. She has departed. You took her from me. He slipped away without a sound. That night, an oppressive silence enveloped the air, stripped of both words and the warmth of a kiss, while his absence lingered for days, stretching into an eternity. Those days were dedicated to meticulous organization and careful preparation. With a bit of savings in hand, I approached my boss, making a heartfelt request for an advance. In my search, I stumbled upon a woman online, willing to rent her guest room just 2 towns over. She held back her inquiries. The rent held great significance for her, and I found myself keen to depart. One evening, while James was absent, I quietly slipped away, leaving no farewells behind. I rose from the confines of my bed, my couch, my lingering shame, yet the scars endure. In truth, I never genuinely escaped his grasp. The echo of his touch remains, and the emptiness he left behind is unmistakable. In the course of this journey, I have undeniably relinquished a fragment of my very essence. The story of Kimberly has reached its conclusion. Your support holds immense significance for me. Do you think she chose wisely in leaving, despite the lateness of the hour? We eagerly await your insights in the comments section. If you find yourself intrigued and yearning for more captivating, real-life stories such as this, don't hesitate to get in touch. Your support ignites the path of this channel's adventure.